All right, everybody, welcome back. Episode 8. We got Michaela Beck, one of the top girls in the country at 59 kilograms, 57, 59, whichever route you want to go, depending on the year. But how you doing, girl? How's things going?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. Just right now, I'm just in New York, back home for a little bit, recovering, and back to work here pretty soon. So it's been a good start to the summer. But thanks for having me on your show.
Hey, no problem. We appreciate you taking the time to do this. I know you guys got a heck of a schedule, heck of a grind going on. But honestly, I just wanted to start from the beginning, kind of let everybody know, like, how it became a thing. Like from what little bit I did read, it started off with MMA, but and then it kind of progressed to wrestling. So if you could just kind of give me and the viewers kind of like how you got into wrestling itself.
Yeah. It started so when I was a lot younger. I did taekwondo, and I competed. I was on a competition team. But of course, like I wanted to go, to a higher level, the world championships, Olympics, but the style didn't really suit like my style of fighting. Like I liked to be in close quarters, very aggressive, very physical, and the style that was like the Olympic style was more longer, lanky, kind of quick, light on your feet, very agile. It's like light tapping, like not really. It wasn't fun to me to fight like that. And I would actually like people would kick, and I would I'd grab their leg as they kicked. I'd catch their leg and like turn it to a double, and I'd always get whistled. It's illegal. I was always getting like whistled out of matches, like warnings, penalties. And I just said to my dad, like, this is not fun. I my instincts is like making me wrestle in a basically a taekwondo. It's if people don't know taekwondo, it's like just think karate. Like I'm trying to wrestle. That's like my natural, like what my body's doing. So I was like, if I when I was younger, whatever, like a little tomboy, I'd play with the boys, like in the sand or in a playground, fight. We'd fight, but I would wrestle, like just naturally. That's what I was, um, like. That's he's like my dad said, yeah, no, like obviously that's what you're built for. So
100%. If you took the
yeah,
words out of my mouth, sounds like you were just born for it, girl.
yeah, exactly. So I was like, you know what? Um, I said, I don't even. I want to do something where I could do both. Well, that's MMA, right? So my dad said, okay, well, okay, if you want to do that, you need a ground game. Like you need to. So that just start wrestling to, so you have that background. But pretty soon after, I just fell in love with wrestling, and I just didn't even have any really interest in the stand up stuff. And to this day, I really don't. It's just been wrestling from then on. So that was around when I was 13 that I made the transition.
Yeah, and you kind of jumped right into. I mean, you jumped right into Fargo like that first year, didn't you? End up what second your first year at Fargo?
Yeah, I ended up second my first year, and I learned it's like I learned a double and I learned a gut wrench, and it solved a lot of problems. I remember this summer I won. It was the next summer, and it was like I really was like working on my gut wrench a lot. It was just I was like, I love freestyle, because I was like, you can just get on and off the mat, and obviously not on the best people maybe know, but it can kind of those big brackets. It's daunting. Look at my bracket, how many matches I have, but I was
Yeah.
with the gut, so it was fun.
Yeah, it showed because like I went back and and it's the fact like I was sitting there watching it and like trying to think like holy shit, like this is her first and second year, right? Like it was unreal that just you would have thought you've been at it since you were 4 or 5 years old. You know what I mean? Like most kids, like it would have been. I just couldn't believe that. Like it just, like you said, like you had that natural instinct when you were doing that taekwondo and everything. So it showed like very quickly, like on the mat, to where it was like, man, you really were built for this. Like this is, God's calling for you. There was like he like because it was just a way I've never seen somebody catch on that quick, and especially to go to an amazing tournament like Fargo, take second your first year, and then win it your following year is like, whoa, like this you don't see that's one of the in my opinion it's the top two baddest tournaments in the country, and here you are taking second the first year you step on the mat, so it's
Thank
pretty
you.
impressive.
Yeah, no, it was, but at the end of the day, what it is like you can learn a move, or you could have natural, feel for it, or are strong and physical. And I hated losing. Honestly, if you have some of what I just listed, that could be enough for you to go and take second at Fargo. But the I would kind of get exposed by people who were wrestling longer. I lost to Gracie Figueroa. I lost to some other girls, just like the best girls in the country. But it kind of showed me too, like, hey, you could maybe get away on like 90% of the girls with just this like grit and whatever, but you're gonna have to actually get better at wrestling if you want to win, because once you get into positions, you're getting exposed that you don't really know what you're doing. So
Absolutely.
it kind of woke me up too, like, okay, you're pretty good, but also you're not on the cadet world team. You're not making the world team because like there's one notch ahead of you. So every summer, like, as you know, we just said I took second, and I won. All those summers, I actually was so upset that summer because my goal was to be on the I wanted to be on the world team so bad. So I think that's what helped me do well at Fargo, because I was almost pissed that I had to go to that tournament.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
I'm with
wanted to go to Worlds. I didn't want to go to Fargo, but it kind of fueled
you.
me.
Yeah, 100%. Like this ain't exactly where I wanted to be. So like, hey, I'm gonna take it out here and like, and then just show because in my opinion, like outside of it, like you showed the world. I mean, you did. I mean, I'm not kidding you, Michaela. Whenever you go and do that, like, I mean, for even people like me as a fan, as somebody that's just starting up a podcast, like it's if anybody goes back and watches it, they're gonna be like, she gets it. It's like this is somebody that it just came very natural to, and I truly believe that your best wrestling's ahead of you for sure. And I mean, you, I mean, every year, it's just more leaps to leaps and leaps like this. The U.S. Open this year was amazing to watch. It really was, especially in the semifinals. That match was out. It was crazy,
Thank
and I was actually at, I mean, how did, I mean, with winning that, because I mean, whenever you look into it, I mean, starting in 2018, I mean, you were winning the world. I mean, you take, and they had you ranked number three at 57, and then you go and you win the Flats Open in Australia. You take second at the Junior Nationals, and then in 2018, you're the runner up at the World Team Challenge tournament. And so, I mean, it's just steadily been progressing. And then here you are this year, boom, you win the U.S. Open and you're sitting in final X. So, from going from all the way back in 2018 to where you are now, what do you think helped you get to where now you're on this final X stage, or you're two matches away from that senior world team? What was it that was it the trip to Ukraine? Was it just a lot of other things? Like what led you to get to that
Yeah, I
this
mean,
this
we're talking about 5 years. I mean, a lot of things. The wrong things. Oh, it seemed like the wrong things at the time, but that became lessons. The training at different places, learning about myself, spending a lot of time alone. I spent because I lived in 2018, 2019, and part of 2020, I lived with Ali Rigg, and I was always around Forrest Molinari. We were on like a little team. I always relied on. I had teammates that, I was young, and these girls kind of like were like my big sisters, always there for me, always helping me make decisions. And then kind of after that, we moved to Arizona from Iowa in 2020. I was kind of I felt very on my own. From 2020 to 2023, I felt like I've been very on my own, very independent. I almost became my own coach in a way. I never really felt every place that I went that I had like my coach. I had coaches that ran practice and whatnot. But this past year, when I moved to Colorado, that kind of I felt very, for the first time, like this is really like the right place for now. I know Terry Steiner. I said he's my coach, but he's the
yeah,
national coach, so he can't just be my personal person, always with me, always in my corner. Like he's not even allowed to sit in my corner domestically. So throw that out the window. I kind of
absolutely.
the mental decision, like for now, maybe not always, but for now, it's kind of like you against the world in a way. Some people would say that's not healthy. Um, that's very like maybe a weird mindset, but I had, for some reason, I had to make that my mindset and say, like, you don't need anyone, you don't need anything. Like, this is, if you're gonna win or lose, it's on you. That's why I went to Ukraine. That was my decision. I didn't even consult anybody on that decision, not even my parents. um Many people were not happy with that. Whatever, I went, I did, what I did in the winter. And even in the US Open, I kind of felt I had Nate Angle in my corner just helping me out, but I was really on my own in between matches, and going back to the hotel room in between sessions. And that kind of after that tournament, it showed me like, it would be nice, in the future maybe I'll get more of a, I don't know what's gonna happen in the future, but it kind of showed me like I'm capable of a lot of things on my own, and I don't need to really rely on anyone.
I like that though. I mean, that to be honest with you, and I was reading something that you said to a point to where like you've always had friends, but like to a point you've kind of always felt like you like a loner type deal was I believe the word that you used. But at the end of the day, but like you still had people. But like I think being that like is probably the reason, and like being that independent you is and making a huge decision. Like and I'm sure your dad, Mr. Scott, like I'm sure when he found out you're jumping on a plane to a war zone. You know what I mean? It's to land in Poland and get on a van and be the only. I believe you were the only American on in this van heading to the border, correct?
Of course, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's he it really shows just how much you love this and how much you want to grow and how much you're willing to put out there because you're right though. Like I don't think I don't know very many people that would have done what you did. And just so people that don't know the whole story, with you wanting to go train, you became very close with one of the Ukraine wrestlers at a camp in Iowa, correct?
Yeah, I met her. She's one of the best in their team. Alina Akobia. I met her like actually I wrestled her in 2018. We had like a we had it was like not the most exciting match. We wrestled in Ukraine actually in the Kiev tournament. They used to have a before the war every year that Kiev international tournament, and then she gave me like the craziest black eye I ever had. Like I couldn't even go anywhere in the city for the rest of my trip because I would get like they would just say we don't want problems. Like no, you're not. My whole face was like destroyed, and it was from her. And I remember like I don't know. I just always remembered that. Man, I don't know. I wasn't like angry about it. We had like a mutual respect. And then I saw her. We had a training camp in Ukraine. Just like a few months before, maybe like 2 months before the war, we actually were in Ukraine training, and then we like were partners a lot, and then just hung out and because you make friends on these trips and whatever, and she's like come train anytime in the summer, but the war happened, so that didn't happen. But they came to the US before the World Cup. They came and trained in Colorado first before Iowa, and I basically was just like, dude, I live here, anything you need, whatever. And we just became fast friends, and we spent like every day constantly together. And then it was like at some point time for them to go back home. This was like 4 or 5 weeks later though. We already been hanging out over a month. But um I just said, dude, what do you guys got training, and what's your situation, what's the are you guys, I know there's the war, like are you guys still training? And she said, hell yeah, all the time, like hard. And so I was like, I gotta come out there. And no one even like, I said, is it even possible to for an American to go over there? And everyone, I asked the girls on the team, they kind of were like, well, no one's really asked to come. Like that's not really been like brought up because no one's wanted to come in because of the situation. So, but they said we don't really see it. We don't see a problem. We don't see why not. And I kind of like I literally went on this trip not even knowing if my passport would be allowed to enter. They could have just had me turn around. I was so nervous this whole bus ride. Everybody was nervous in this van for me, but they were like,
I bet. I bet, girl. That would have been. I was. Hey, when I read the story after knowing that you got back safely, I was nervous for you. Like reading it, like just picturing the how you like where your mindset was while you're coming up on that border. Like,
yeah.
was there a backup plan if they did turn you around?
No, there was no backup. It was pitch dark outside. It was because the border is like the Poland Ukraine border. It's very like it's in the woods. It's very dark, and because I've done it a few times now. But in the day, I'm like, wow, it's yeah, we're not like this is not like nothing's like really like near here. And but they would like joke. It's pitch dark outside. It was snowing. It was freezing because it was the winter, and they were joking like, oh, you're gonna have to walk back like with all your shit like if you don't like it was like okay, like hilarious. But yeah, and then we like literally the guy just like glanced at my passport and then handed it back, and I was like, all this hype, all this work, like days and days of like concern and worry. And then he just took one look at my passport, handed it back, and said, "You're good." That was
That's crazy. It's like sneaking into Mexico. It's like, ah, congratulations, you're getting it. And what I would be more worried about was like leaving, like if there's a problem leaving, like if you were like would have got stuck over there or something. You know what I mean? Like what if something like that would could have happened? I guess I've never had that situation, so I'm not sure. But I'm glad you got there, you got the experience, and you made it back safe, girl. Because I think it's awesome. I think it's a hell of a story, and
thank you.
you're definitely you're a soldier for it, and it just shows how much you really do you think that that month over there, like, because from what I read, you're definitely planning on going back, huh?
Yeah, I went back actually. Like I came back. I spent like a month over there, and then I came back and I trained for the Dan Kolov tournament in Bulgaria. And then from Bulgaria, I went back. I visited my friends again for 2 weeks. So I already went back again by myself. I'm gonna go back. Actually, the plan is I'm gonna spend half of July and all of August there. They have big training camps and stuff in August. Um, but yeah, no, it just it showed me. It just people always ask like, oh, what did you learn, and like did they show you wrestling or did you learn wrestling? And I was like, it's not like that. We didn't come in a circle and show technique. It was what I learned over there was like a type of like fortitude, like tenacity, grit, just mental strength that it's very hard to just duplicate through training here. Because I love hard workouts, so I always do hard workouts, and that gives you mental toughness and physical toughness. But it's something there's this type of grit that I got there that I don't even think it exists here because it's like a survival. They're literally in
Yeah,
war and training. So when
yeah.
you see that in close quarters, of course I get to leave and go to my home is America.
Get
It's
away from it. Yeah.
but they live that, so it's real for them every day. So but it
Yeah,
kind of
because
showed.
what I read was like you're having. I mean, it's cold. Like half the time you don't have hot water. Half the time you don't have some of it, and like some of them didn't have any running water from where you were staying, and like no Wi-Fi, no nothing. So without power, you're not, you're lacking a lot. But it seems like that kind of stuff don't bother you. Like I mean, for you to continue to want to go back and enjoy it, and like you said, the type of training you get, you're not getting here. You're not going to get anywhere else. The way that they go about it to get that grit, to get that. So I mean, it speaks volumes of how much you really do just love this sport, and it's phenomenal. It is. It's crazy. Just yeah, I'm excited about your future because of it. Honestly, like when you really dig into it, it's like, man, the sky's the limit. I mean, and you're 23. You just turned 23, correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you're 23. So I mean, you still got. I mean, you got years ahead of you left, and uh, so after you win this U.S. Open on your dad's 57th birthday,
yeah, I think that's right.
which was yeah, that was awesome too, by the way. Like pointing up to him in the stands, that was I mean, an awesome tournament. So how did you feel going into final legs?
You know, coming off the open, it was interesting because I remember being at the open. I didn't really know. I thought it was weird. I didn't really think anything. I didn't think I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna win. I just kind of was like a just no. I'm almost really zoned in, um, and just really focused that whole weekend. Then I won, and after my bye, I was so like beat up. I don't know. I think it was all the hype around it. Everyone talks about the U.S. Open so far out in advance and for so long. I think there was like a big release when it was finished, but I had to get myself up again fast because people's like, Michaela, you have time. You have maybe 5.5 weeks, but I
It
just
goes quick.
it goes quick, and I couldn't really even chill. Like I couldn't even chill. I just said I can't chill until after June 10th. So it's a long time to be not chill, because I think let's say you have 6 weeks before the open and then 6 weeks before finals. I mean, 12 weeks. I'm in a fight camp. Like I just really didn't relax at all. I don't know if that was good for me. Um, looking back, of course, I could say X, Y, and Z wasn't good for me because I didn't wrestle well, and I really didn't wrestle well. But with that being said, I think if I'm just being honest, I mean, she was better. Jen Page was the better. Like sometimes there's just a better person, and I've wrestled people, and where I tech them and I'm just like, I'm just better right now than this girl. Just fact. And I think that's what happened June 10th. I think, she's a veteran. She's been around a long time. She's had injuries. She's been behind really good people. She teched Kayla last year, almost made the world team. She lost in the third match. She's always almost made team. She's beaten really good people and always been just hasn't had her chance. And I guess, you know, divine timing. This was her year, and she was just straight up better than me. So that's I don't know if it's I need to change a bunch of things. I don't think so. I think I just need to get better, and it's good for Jen Page. I don't think that's always how our results will be, but this year it was. So
Absolutely, and I couldn't agree more. And I think the way that you view it is a good way of viewing it because I don't think you need to change it. Go in and things didn't go the way we wanted at Final X, so let's change everything that we built because what you've built is phenomenal. And like you said, just fine tuning it. I think you could beat anybody in the world.
thank you.
So I truly believe you're on your way, girl. But how did where did you go? Like I guess with after Final X mentally, like, because I mean, this is it's a mental battle when on a wrestling match just as much as it is a physical battle. Like, w- where did it take you? Like, did it? Because there's a lot of people that can take a lot like a loss like that. They get to Final X, they're two matches away from a world team and heading to the world championships. And does it set you back mentally a little bit from that being on such a high after winning the U.S. Open to kind of like, man, about now I missed my opportunity type maybe feeling, or is it just like, hey, back to the drawing boards, let's just keep grinding, keep getting better, and next year we're gonna come back, make this Olympic team, and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the more of the latter, but I mean, I think I just needed to like not analyze everything right away. Like I really haven't dissected the matches. Like I almost need to give myself time from sometimes from wrestling. It's I put so much into it. It's so like overwhelming sometimes as how much I care and how much I think about the sport. So that was the main thing. I was like I was like, I don't know if this is the right coping mechanism, but like I'm just gonna completely ignore these matches for right now. And I think it was good. I just kind of living life a little bit, relaxing, trying to relax. Of course, those first days it hurts. Like every morning you wake up and like remember what happened and time like a few days past, you kind of get better perspective. I mean, Coach Terry Steiner called me pretty like in the next day or two, and he just said like, remember you're on the U23 World Team, and you remember that you guys got to get better. There's really no time to pout um to just be down on yourself, just to be super negative down on yourself. I have a responsibility this season. I'm on a team. I'm on an age level
Yep.
team. So to me, like
And
my
U20s is nothing to shake your head about, bro. That's something impressive. I mean, and I'm sure you know that, but I mean, it's be proud of it, man, because I know we're all proud of you. And I mean, as people that hold down Team USA, like we wouldn't want anybody else holding it down for the U23s there. So
Thank you. No,
it's
that's a
he's
big yeah. I think it is a big deal. Like
it
of course
is.
you don't want to settle and say like, oh, I'm on this team. I want to be on the team, the world team. I live at the Olympic Training Center. I see every day like world team members. I see we have a countdown to the world championship like on in the cardio section. It's like a big sign. I see this every day. I see all this stuff pointing towards senior world championships. I know that's the main thing, but I still have a responsibility and I still haven't had an age level medal yet. So to say like I'm above, that's completely ridiculous. I'm not like to me this is a huge goal to take a medal at this tournament, and it's
Yeah.
going to require the whole summer of focus. So there's really no time to pout. And besides that, it was the first time I felt like I've been happy for people before, but I felt so happy for my teammates that like I'm not even the type of person that has like I never felt like I had teammates really like I did, but this year I don't know how to explain this. I just really felt happy for Macy, for Sarah, for the girls in Colorado. I just because I see the what we go through. We just live at the Olympic Training Center. This is just our life, and so for now it's our life. So I just want to see them succeed this summer.
Yeah. And you too, like you said. I mean, you got a big one coming up. I mean, this year too. So
Yeah.
but that's awesome that you view it that way. Like that you want to see them succeed and want to see them do good, and you're happy for them. And it also speaks volume of your character, and everything does. I mean, I don't. I don't see anything with like talking to you. Like, I mean, you're very easy to talk to. Like, I've got on here and had like some people that like, that and not everybody's like that, like is open, but like I feel just the vibe that you put off, the way that you view other people and how you the sport itself and taking losses and the wins and the way that you do your training. Like, I mean, I think I think you really, really, really do have an amazing future ahead of you, and this is just the start of it. Growing U23s is going to be uh, just that. I think you're coming home with that first one. I do for you, and I think it's going to be a start of a lot more coming home for you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I think, um, sometimes in the sport, yeah, it's people sometimes like I don't think people are like fully authentic sometimes, to be honest. And being authentic is not gonna take anything away from like me being honest. I don't think I'm hurting anybody or like, I don't know. I just think every answer I give is it's pretty like genuine, and sometimes it's maybe weird answers. I don't know. Um, a kind of a unique stories, unique situation in the sense of like where I've gone to many teams and many places, and maybe people say that's weird. She's like a hopper and she's a little unloyal or whatever. And I think it's more so I just there's so many people to learn from in this sport. There's so many things to do, and I always uh that's part of the journey to me for me. And if I was like going massively downhill, maybe I change what I'm doing, but I think that that's actually helped me is
I agree.
gone. um
I agree.
yeah, that's kind
Because
of
there's a lot of people like as fans, like say because you say you went to college and you're wrestling for that RTC, and then like you graduate college, and then like, hey, you want to go try the Nittany Lions Wrestling Club or whatever, the Pennsylvania RTC or whatever the case may be, whoever you want to train with. But I think if like if even Burroughs, all those guys, I mean, there's a lot of guys that switched from Kyle Snyder. I mean, he graduated from Ohio State. He starts off with their RTC, and then he goes to Nittany Lions. Like, and I just feel like it made him better, like getting, like you said. So like, if people do view you from like bouncing around and trying to just wrestle, everybody's got a different feel. Everybody's got a different. At least this is my view on it, and uh, I feel like do what you think is best, what's going to help you the most. Like at the end of the day, like you're representing Team USA, whatever works is like, hey, we should everybody should have your back at the end of the day, and that's just my opinion on it. Like, hey, whatever you think's the best, like we should both like, hey, go get it, girl. Like we're here, like we got you.
I mean, thank you. And I think I like that Terry Steiner actually he really supports what I do. Of course there's things where it's like, hey, you know we'd like to have you in town for this or of course even I like to I he's my coach and the person I want to learn from. I want to be back in the US for him, but he supports international travel. I'm not going to speak for him, but I don't think I'm wrong when I say that he doesn't. I think he encourages it, and it's kind of disappointing when people have no interest to go. They don't want to go overseas. They don't want to train with different partners. They don't want to switch it up a bit. They don't want to learn from different people. They just want to be in their comfort zone, their little bubble. Like I tell people, I just tell my parents this all the time. Like I'm uncomfortable when I realize I'm getting too comfortable. I even told my dad that. I was like, dude, am I like I think I haven't done something like I feel like I'm getting soft sometimes when I spend like over a month or 2 months just like in my little perfect routine. I have like my coffee, my Nespresso machine, like all my everything is perfect. My bed is everything is like oh this is like so comfortable for me. Yeah, it's like nice when you earn that and you crave that. And then after a certain period of time it makes me uncomfortable because I know I need to get out of my this zone. I need to challenge myself. I need to. That's how you jump levels. It's the same with wrestling. You have the same partners every day, the same practice. Your body's in tune. The same training routine, the same circuit. You need to mix it up.
Yeah.
And I love to do that. So.
I think you're doing it, yeah, and that's not a bad way, and it is. But I think that's what makes you unique, and I think it's what's made you jump levels to be able to start at the eighth grade and and be at the level that you're at now is because you have done it in a very unique way, and maybe not the classic way, or that everybody feels is the way to go about it. And but there's a reason why you're sitting on the U23 teams and sitting in Final X, and doing going over to Ukraine, and getting some, and working with some of the best girls in the world. I mean, it's working. So at the end of the day, if anybody says anything different, it's on them. Like, they can have their thoughts, but I feel like you're good with that. Like, I feel it doesn't, what people think or say. Like, you seem to be very comfortable with yourself and the choices that you've made, and uh, I think it speaks volumes of your character. And I can't say, I know I've said that 3 or 4 times, but it really does. And um, I really, I don't think you should change a thing, girl. I don't. I
Thank you.
think that, yeah, I think keep doing what you're doing. And just like you said, like, because I mean, come next year, well, with the Olympics, it goes down to 6, right?
Yeah,
Instead of, so you'll be what, 57?
I think I'll try to go 57. I actually like I get thick, whatever, whatever I could weigh on a scale. I could, I like to eat. I'm pretty thick. Like I get like stocky, like I could probably weigh X, Y, and Z, but I don't think my build is like for 62 kilo girls because they're tall, lanky. Like I just whatever how it feels. I don't know yet. I haven't gone 57 in a while because I just been 59. Um, but I don't like wrestling at 62, and I've wrestled at 62 before, and I'd rather go through the just maybe a few months of dieting or whatever and go 57. I think it's a better weight class for me.
Yeah, and I mean, either way, I think that, yeah, I mean, you'll be right there with whichever way you decide to go. But I think you're right. Like, because once you jump up in the 62s and anything up, like, you do get some long rangey late, and it makes it a little more difficult. It makes it more, I mean, getting to the legs, and I mean, they can scramble a little bit crazier, and get a little bit more funkier with things. So I can respect it. And at the end of the day, though, you can run with anybody at 57 or 62. That's just something you gotta mentally, whichever weight is best for you to go and you feel best with, and we go get it, girl.
Thank you. Thanks.
But what's next? Like, so I mean, we're just getting ready for the U23s, and just kind of getting ready for, and what it was that October? When is that? All
It's
October, September?
October. Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah. So you got some time to sit back, kind of do you for a little bit, and then just get back on your grind. Like, what do you? Whenever you ain't into wrestling, what does Michaela, what are you doing? What do you like to get into outside of wrestling? Like,
You know,
whenever you try to step away.
yeah, no, uh wherever I am, like I'm always working, I'm always training, but there's a different like if I'm in that blinders mode, then it's like I really if I'm not wrestling, I borderline like to just recover and get ready to wrestle again. But that's only you can only do that for X amount of weeks because you'll kind of go crazy. So we have a lot of time, before October. I can't. Sometimes my tendency is to I want to start now in that zone, and it's like no, don't do that because this is at the end of October, and you're basically gonna not do anything until then but train. It's not really healthy. So like I said, I'm in New York now, um, and this is where I grew up. So for me, it's home. Like the city, I like the big city. I'll walk around New York City. People always joke because in Colorado, people like to hike, and they ask me, "Oh, why don't you hike?" I like to walk in cities. I don't go on like mountains and stuff with animals. I like to be around cities. So I always walk in the city. I always you know, I when I'm with friends, yeah, we'll go maybe just shop and go get food. I'm a foodie, so we'll plan what we're gonna eat. I like coffee. I like just joking, kicking. Like I like to chill in the house. I'm pretty just low key. I like to laugh and honestly that's it. Like it's more about the people I'm with and like the feeling I, the feeling I get. Like this is when I come here. I just remember just memories just growing up in the city, and I like, this is where I like to come to reset and relax, and
Abs-
all my coaches understand that, and they know that if I need to kind of clear my head, especially after something like Final X, this was the place to do it. And then this summer, you're asked like what's maybe the next months look like, because we have time. Like, it's a busy summer, so we're going to. I have a training camp in Budapest, and then I'm gonna go to Ukraine. I'm pretty sure, and after that, I'm gonna go to the World Championships as with Macy Kilty, as I'm gonna help as her training partner. So we have a training camp in France before that, and then Serbia for the World Championships, and then we'll come back, and then I go to Finland for U23. So it's pretty busy.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's crazy. I didn't. I mean, yeah, you're very busy. When are you? I mean, outside of this little spot you have right now, I mean, after that, it's pretty much till after U23s in October till you get another little reset, huh?
Yeah, yeah, but it's like my favorite type of um like I really love to train. So to me it's not like it would be daunting maybe if you told me I had to be in one location that whole time. To me, it's exciting that we get to go to different
You're
places,
bound.
international training camps, new training partners, new cities, new environment. Talk about like being outside your comfort zone. It's like it always seems fun until the first week you get there, and then you're like, damn, I kind of miss home. Like, they don't have this, they don't have that, or like, I don't like the schedule. I don't like. And what happens is pretty damn quick you adjust because you have to, and then you basically just get used to going on the fly, and then that's how you grow. You come back home, and all like the little things that you just realize, like, little stuff shouldn't bother you. You're pretty tough, you're pretty adaptable. So those overseas trips are really important, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's awesome that you get to go with Kilty over there and and do that. I mean, man, you're really doing some traveling. I mean, you were all over the place. And
Yeah.
I didn't know. I mean, that's awesome that you get to go and see and do. I mean, just the different cultures that you get to be around and see. But like you said, I'm sure there is times that like it might be like, man, like I miss home. And you seem very close with your father. Like you talk about him a lot, even in past interviews. And if you could just speak on him a little bit, because I know he was a wrestler back in his day, and
Yeah.
I believe what JFK wasn't it, or wasn't he
Hmm.
a Cougar down there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he was a junior Fargo All-American. So I mean, he was a monster in his own right back in the day.
Yeah.
So I mean, does he go on these trips with you? Is he a big part of? Is he at all these like say U23s? Will he be out there? Like, does he go out of the country whenever you go and wrestle?
Yeah, like he came to Junior Worlds, he came to in Estonia, he came to U23 Worlds in Belgrade, and then he'll come to Finland, but he won't come to, if I let's just say I go to, like, he didn't come to Bulgaria, things like that, just tournaments in the year, and he definitely won't come to the camps. I think part of the point of the trips, like, is I got to go to take these experiences on my own, and I'll report back, but he supports my traveling. I think he thinks sometimes like a little. I'll be telling him like my plans, and then he won't respond, and I'm like, you don't have an opinion, and he kind of is like, what do you like? You're gonna go. You're telling me your plans, like, and you're just gonna do them anyway. I said, true. He's like, because you're a grown. Why are you asking my opinion? And I'm like, okay, like that's how we have a good relationship. I think he knows if I'm set on something, he knows me better than anyone. So if I'm set on something, I'm doing it, and he's just like, please be safe. But besides that, there's not really much more he could say, but every time I come back, he tells me like, you if my wrestling comes back better, or my mind comes back stronger, and I tell him, just trust me, these trips are good for me. I always tell everyone too, like, whenever I'm going anywhere, I'm working on my mind, I'm thinking about my wrestling, I'm thinking about U23s, I'm thinking about, like, it's always on my mind. Like, I know the exact weeks out I am from things. I know what day I'm wrestling. I know all the facts, and I know the timeline of when I need to train, when I need to recover, when I should peak, when I should rest. And I think people trust me like that when I go on any of these trips and whatever. yes, I'm having fun. What I'm showing the highlight reels on my Instagram, I'm showing the fun times, but there's a lot of tougher times. There's a lot of hard training, and I'm always thinking about my goals the whole time I'm on these trips.
That's awesome, man. And it's awesome that you have that backing from your dad and in the family and just how you view them as a whole. I don't know that everybody would, and I can't speak for all the women and everything like that, but you definitely have a very unique outlook on it, and I enjoy the hell out of it. I really do,
Thank you.
and I can't see. I'm excited for October to be honest with you, and I'm sure that like you got a lot of things going on up until then, but uh, I'm ready to see you back at it, and I really hope you can go get us. I mean, because what us we're all with you, so I'm gonna say us. So I hope you get us that, bring us home that gold, bro. And
Yeah.
even if not, though, as long as you're growing and getting better, it, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So it's
No,
something you love to do.
I thank you so much because and I like how you said like we because to me it's like it is sometimes people try to like it makes them feel better to lower the weight and the value of that position. No, it's very important to me to medal to represent the country. I can't go. I go one and out. Both times I went to a world tournament. It's just it's just like not really how it's like this is the spot for the whole country. So to me,
Yeah,
it's important. That's how my international friends view it too. It's an honor. It's like big,
yeah.
and it's a you do want to bring it back for the country. You do. It means it's like this is who they basically we have a system where I earn that spot, but this is who they chose the U.S. team to represent at this weight class, and I want to I really want to
Yeah,
bring
because
hardware.
you got a whole country behind you. You know what I mean? At the
Yeah,
end of the day, like as us as fans of like of every weight class, all 10 of you that go to the U23s, like we want we at least that's the way I've always viewed it. Like we love y'all and want y'all to win because like it's us. Like we're all from the same place wanting we just like the Olympics. We always want obviously America to win the most golds, and you always want you're you, you're our people. Like so, I mean, we're all behind you for sure. I know anybody that I'm in my little circle like would view it the same way. Like even if you might go to a college that like and I'm an Ohio guy. I live in Ohio, so I might follow the Ohio State Buckeyes or something, and then like so they wrestle Michigan, but once that boy straps on a USA. Uh, or an Iowa kid or a Penn State kid, and once that NCAA's are over and they're wrestling overseas or Final X, like at the end of the day, it's like, hey, who's you're representing America. It's no more Penn State versus Ohio State or this, that, and the third. We're all together here. Like, let's go get it.
yeah.
Bring that back for us.
And you get that vibe like when you find out like when the team's officially set. It's a cool vibe because you feel you may not even be like super close. Sometimes they're your best friends. Sometimes you don't. Like Macy's on the U23 team too. We're like awesome. We're roommates. We're best friends. Like perfect. But there's some girls on the team I don't know super well. I know them. Of course, I know everybody, but like I never like personally hung out with them. But you just know when you go on these teams, like you're bonded. Like you're forever we're on a U23 team together. You're forever on a junior world team together. Like you never forget that. Especially like, the senior team. I know like people if you're ever on like you're on that team with them guys,
Yeah.
you feel instantly bonded. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. I mean, if anybody ever looks back at the 2023 U23 World Team, it could be, hey, the first time ever that the 10 girls all took gold. You know what I mean? So it is. I can definitely respect that and understand that. I mean, it could be something people look back 20 years from now, and it might be the greatest U23 team ever. You know what I mean? And I hope it is. I do. I mean, every year. So, especially now that like you I mean, obviously now that like we've had this little conversation, got to know you a little bit, like I went from already hoping that you get it to like you legit have outside of like your family and friends, like I'm right there with them now because like you've made me such a giant fan just through this and I think your potential's through the roof and like I said earlier, your best wrestling's ahead of you, bro. So like just keep grinding, keep that grit going and you're gonna be all right.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I know. I appreciate it. I think maybe like it's the type of thing you don't know somebody till maybe you talk to them. And I think people always like when I'm at the tournaments, I kind of have like a people say I have a face like an angry face, but if you talk to me like I'm like goofy, like I'm not and trying to intimidate anyone. I'm just you know I like to be physical and strong just because I put in the work, but it's not like some aggressive, angry thing. Generally speaking, I like most people in the wrestling community. And I even Jen Page, you know, of course I wanted that to be me, and it's gonna be hard to see someone at like what I consider my weight class to,
Yeah,
be on that spot. But good for her, and I hope she medals. I really do.
me too.
Hope
I think it helps it in your perspective. I do. I think I hope she goes there and smokes everybody because at the end of the day, like it shows like where you're at with everything.
right.
Like, you
Yes.
know what I mean? Like go win a gold because at the end of the day, like I wrestled that girl at Final X, so I know where I'm at.
Right. Right. Hundred
And that's
percent.
the best way to view it. There's no other way to, in my opinion, because if not, then like if she goes there and doesn't have the best, goes one and out, and then I guess what it could possibly lead to like, man, am I what I have went one and out, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
might cause some kind of doubt, maybe not. I mean, to each their own. Like everybody would view it differently, possibly, but I guess like yeah, why not root for like her to do the very best to know that like hey, I was right there wrestling her at Final X, and I'm
They
gonna touch up.
say Terry tells us if you make this team, you're ready to medal. Period. So I think that it's like making the U.S. team. You have this team's hard. The team's loaded. If you can break through and be the one, you could win the world tournament. You could medal for sure. So that's kind of like okay until you got to earn that. Then you got to make the team. So it'll happen. But for now, it's just kind of being around it all the time. It's going to be a motivating factor. But I'm glad that I do get the chance still to perform on the international stage. If the summers without that, it's tough. I don't know. I love to have that just at the. I love to train in the summer knowing I'm going to a world tournament. It just gives me. I'm just every second I'm motivated. You can't if you're not and you're on a world team, you shouldn't be on the world team.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I have a feeling that things are gonna go good, and like I said, I'm really looking forward to October, and I ain't gonna hold you up too much longer. So I just really wanted to first off thank you again for taking this time and just being able to sit down, share your story, and hopefully, like I said, if we can reach out and it helps one, two, three different female wrestlers, male wrestlers, youth, like college, high school, anything, then we did our part here today. So I definitely appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Thank you for having me again. And yeah, I completely agree. And I really like, just you seem very open minded, very, interested in the whole process. And I appreciate that because sometimes what you see on the wrestling mat, it's like people have opinions, X, Y, and Z, but everyone, we're all people. We all have a story. And I appreciate you being interested in my story this year. So thank you.
Well, I definitely appreciate you saying that, and I I hope that everything goes the way that you want it to there at U23s. And I promise you, we're all going to be sitting here watching and rooting for you because there's nobody else we'd rather have in that spot, bro. So go get them, keep grinding, and it's all going to go. And then I hope in the future we can link back up and I can see you on that senior level down there winning Olympic medals next.
Thank you. Anytime. Thank
Right.
you.
Well, I appreciate it, Michaela, and you take care of yourself. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll be reaching out to you in the future, and hopefully everything goes good and be safe out there.
Thank you so much. Bye
Yes, man.
bye.
Well, there you have it, Michaela Beck, man. Wow, wow. Just what an amazing person, amazing story. I'm serious. I really don't even know what to say with it. I possibly just became one of her biggest fans over just the way that she views things and the way that she goes about it. And what a soldier. I mean, just she's the definition of a warrior in the sport, and I hope nothing but the best for her. I really do, and I think that anybody that ever thinks that they are out there on their own or doing it, like, I mean, you can sit back, look at her story, and like she's doing it like in her own way, in a very unique way. So no way should anybody ever look at the way that they're doing it if it's a little bit different than these top wrestlers or this wrestler or that wrestler. Is it wrong? Because look what doing it her way has got her. You know what I mean? She's wrestling at Final X. She's on a U23 world team, getting ready to represent Team USA. So it it goes to say that like just do what you feel like is best for you, and I think everything's gonna work out. And she's a prime example of that. And I mean, hell, the girl went to Ukraine, like just wow. I think that's crazy, and I love her for it, man. Like she's doing whatever it takes to be the best at her craft. So nothing but respect, nothing but respect. But yeah, and join us for the next one. We got some other great wrestlers coming up. So I appreciate y'all joining us and watching. Hit that subscribe, hit that like button, and throw out some ideas of who else we can do. If you guys want to see somebody, hopefully we can reach out to them and get them on this show. So anybody that wants to see somebody in particular, let us know. But man, we appreciate everything and all the views. Thanks, guys.